from Bangladesh to the middle of Kansas, and yeah, take it away, Aisha.
Thank you so much for that, Brian. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aisha, and I am currently getting my master's in business administration, my MBA here at Emporia State University. So a little background about me is I did my undergrads or my bachelor's from Independent University, Bangladesh. And I moved to Kansas in fall of 2021. So I'm currently in my 4th semester and I am hopefully graduating in December of this year. So I've been at Emporia State University for almost 2 years now. And I can happily say that my experience has been good. So before coming to Emporia specifically in Kansas, I did not have a lot of idea about how my student life would be, considering the fact that I was not aware of the Bangladeshi community over here in Emporia, how the education system would be. But once I came to Emporia State, my doubts were cleared because I have had a very welcoming and expecting experience. So with that, I want to also let you guys know that when I first came here, I did not have a full scholarship or anything of that sort. So, but after that, I was given the opportunity to work as a graduate assistant at the international office, which I'm very grateful for, which took care of my tuition fees entirely. So yeah. So as a student, personally, I would say that there are many opportunities for you as a student here at Emporia State. You just have to work towards them and earn them. And we do have a lovely Bangladeshi community here at Emporia as well. It is a small town, but even considering that, we do have quite a lovely community here. We have a small Islamic center here. We do get-togethers and fun events over there. So all in all, it's good. And apart from that, campus is never boring. There is always something or the other to do. There are campus events, there's fun activities, there's interactive activities, and the campus itself is very pretty. I love going to the rec center, which is the student gym. It's very big and it keeps me very productive. So the campus is great, community is great. It's a small town, but it's very peaceful. It's not as chaotic as Dhaka, but it has its own sides of pros. So yeah, I will leave my email address in the chat box if any of you have any personal questions related to studying at Emporia State. And you can reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me and I would happily get back to you regarding questions about admissions or any queries regarding Emporia State University. So that will be all from my end, and I would like to hand it over to Mr. Chase Snyder. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aisha, for sharing with us. Hello, everybody. My name is Chase Snyder, and I'm the Assistant Director of International Admissions here at Emporia State. Like Brian and Aisha said before me, it's a big honor to be a part of this first initial meeting with y'all and to share a little bit about Emporia State, get to answer some of your questions and get to meet you, and hopefully soon get to meet you in person here in Emporia. So what I'm going to do is share more specific information about Emporia State, show you a little bit of our campus, tell you a little bit about what we have to offer. Hopefully you'll find some things that are interesting to you. And then finally, I'll have a little Q&A session. So if you've got some questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat there, and we can approach those near the end of the session. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully my sound will share and everything. Just give me 1 second here. Oh no. Okay. hopefully everything's appearing correctly on your screen. So we're going to start here with this presentation. Real quick, first off, here is some contact information for us. So this oisa@emporia.edu is your #1 first stop to contacting us. This email, if you ask any kind of question, we'll make sure that your question goes to the right person who can answer that best for you. So make sure you write down oisa@emporia.edu. And of course, you should follow us on our social media pages and our Facebook and Instagram at ESUOIE. Aisha does a lot of work with our social medias, and she makes sure that there's always something interesting happening on there, keeping it alive and showing you what we're up to here at ESU. First off, I want to start with a little video just to give you a quick glimpse into the life of ESU. So.
With Emporia State University, your dreams are within reach. You get more choices. We offer hands-on, real-life experiences that will set you apart. At Emporia State, you get more value. And students have the second lowest debt load of all regional universities. Schedule a campus visit at emporia.edu/visit.
All right, yeah, I love that video. It gives you just a very brief little look at some of the different things happening on campus, like specifically in our art program, the glass blowing program. And it is nice because this video was made while I was still in graduate school here at Emporia State, so I see a lot of friendly faces. And as you'll come to learn throughout this presentation, and the more you learn about Emporia State, it's one of the best things about us is that we're, a relatively small campus. So it's easier to be a big fish in a small pond, if you know what I mean. So you'll get to meet a lot of different people, make a lot of friends, and be a real member of our community. So moving on here. If you don't already know, Kansas is located pretty much in the exact center of the United States. It's in this region called the Midwest, which is a collection of states in the middle of the United States. We refer to ourselves as the Midwest. Emporia, I don't know if you can see my pointer, but if you can, it's pointing right at Emporia. We're on the eastern half of the state, about a 90-minute drive in car from Kansas City, which is a large metropolitan city of a few million people. And then we're 90 minutes as well from the capital city, Topeka, Kansas. We also happen to be 90 minutes away from Wichita, which is the second biggest city in Kansas. So yeah, we're kind of in the heart of the state, in the heart of the country. One thing that we were really proud of, and you'll see why here in just a moment, is that we have been voted the #1 best main street in the USA for a small town in 2016. And yeah, I've got a few pictures prepared here to show you why our main street has been voted #1. So that's a little bit about Kansas. Hopefully you've heard of us before. If not, here's some more info. A little bit about Emporia State University's history and our current state. So we were founded in 1863, been around for a very long time, the first public institution of higher education in the state of Kansas. So our history is deep and deeply intertwined with the history of our state. Currently, we fluctuate between 5,500 students and 6,000 students regularly. But of course, post-COVID, we're hoping to get those numbers up even higher because the more the merrier. Emporia State University is a very global campus. Of course, that is what you will be contributing to when you come here to Emporia. We have over 250 international students from over 60 different countries. So that's one of the, in my opinion, one of the greatest things about my education here was that it felt so global. I was in the heart of Kansas, in the heart of the United States, but at the same time, I was receiving this global education that was just so enriching to my experience. And I know that many of the professors are very aware of this as well, and they make efforts to make sure that people who come from different countries who operate in different systems are able to share their experiences in those systems. For example, our Masters of Business Administration students are often sharing how business works in their countries because business laws, regulations, best practices, those vary from country to country. So getting to learn about how all these different countries operate gives a very good comparative lens to whatever it is you're learning. So yeah, that's just a really nice fact about us. And we have more research programs and opportunities for undergraduate students and not just our graduate students. So yeah. Okay, on to the promised pictures. Wanted to start out with just a little collection just to orient you. So here in the top left, you can see a picture from the early 20th century, shortly after we were founded. This is a fun picture to look at, especially when you know Emporia today. But the beautiful western, facades on all those buildings, and that is Commercial Street, which you can see then versus now in that bottom left photo. That's our center main street today. And a couple other pictures, these two here kind of showing you that Emporia absolutely experiences all 4 seasons. In the spring, we have beautiful blooming flowers. Right now in the summer, we're in a bit of a thunderstorm. Right now, it's a little gray and rainy, but it's typically beautiful, very green this time of year. And of course, during the winter, it gets a little icy. You can see we experience the full breadth of all 4 seasons here in Emporia. To show you some more photos, so this is Plum Hall. This is one of the main administrative buildings. If you take English courses, they'll be here. And the modern language and journalism is here, as well as the social sciences. So one of the most central buildings, iconic to the campus. In front, if you can see it, there's a statue of Corky. Corky is our mascot. He's a hornet, and he was actually drawn by the same artist who created some of the most beloved characters from Disney, who is a Emporia State alum. So that's a fun fact. Here's the Emporia State University Memorial Union. This is one of the most central gathering spaces on campus, perhaps the most centrally geographically located building. This is actually where I am at this moment. So here in this building, we have our Starbucks, which of course I'm a daily customer. And we have our cafeteria for students. So you can come here with your meal plan and eat 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. You also have gathering spaces for students for studying, and a few different administrative buildings, like our administrative offices. So this is where conference and scheduling is and where admissions is. Surely you'll spend a lot of time here in the Memorial Union. This is one of our newly renovated dorm halls, Morse Hall, a very historic building that actually once housed an Olympic training team. We like to share that story because we have a pretty unique track for our athletics team. And they actually came here sometime in the 1900s. Don't remember the year exactly, but to train for the Olympics. So that's a fun piece of history of this building, which, as I said, is newly renovated with kitchens and, quality of life improvements like washer, dryer, and amenities like that. Here's a bit of an aerial view of the Towers complex. This is another dormitory complex. If you're lucky, you'll be on the 8th floor, that top floor of the dormitory, which gives you nice panoramic views of Emporia. And if you're really lucky, you'll be on the west side, which is the opposite side that we're looking at. And that will give you the best view of the track and football stadium that there is. We'll see some more aerial photos here in a sec. So here's a lovely photo of fall, the fall season. One of the best times of year on campus when everything is brightly colored. One of the last hurrahs before everything gets all cold and icy. This is a Brighton Lecture Hall. If you're taking any classes related to mathematics or science, you'll spend a good amount of your time here. The glass building in the background is the science building. In there is our planetarium, which is a very unique building in the state of Kansas. You'll go in there to experience some different showings of our universe. The planetarium is a domed shaped building with holes in the ceiling that represent all the stars in our galaxy. So they'll do different presentations with that. It's very nice. Here on the left side is Plum Hall, just to give you some orientation, because we already recognize that building. And then the Brighton Lecture Hall will be where your mathematics classes are, as well as some economic classes. And here's another nice view of that science building with the planetarium inside. Kramer Hall is where I have a feeling that many of you will be, because this is a business-oriented building. You can see that the School of Business is housed here, the MBA program, the Business Advising Center. There are different unique labs that you can have collaborative experiences in. For example, the Focus Group Qualitative Research Lab. A lot of students will conduct, experiments or research in these labs. And yeah, you'll surely spend a lot of time there studying and taking classes. Kramer Hall. So here in the background is the Memorial Union. You can almost see me through the glass there. But in the foreground is Worcester Lake, which is the most central geographic feature of ESU. We have a couple fountains in this lake. It's so beautiful this time of year. Everybody loves taking photos on the bridge. We also have a few resident ducks that you can see and appreciate who live and swim happily in this lake. On the second floor of this glass building is the cafeteria, and on the third floor is the Skyline Diner, which is an event space which loads of different departments and organizations like to rent out and have nice fancy dinners in with a great view of campus. So here's the Student Recreation Center. Here is one of the best athletic facilities in actually the whole community of Emporia. There's new state-of-the-art exercise equipment, cardio equipment, free weights, a big cardio studio. So there are Zumba classes and yoga classes and many different kinds of classes like that are held. There's also a very large four-court indoor basketball area that is multi-purpose. So oftentimes there's indoor volleyball in there. And a few weeks ago, I was playing cricket with some of our Bangladeshi students. They were teaching me how to swing the bat, and I'm very bad at pitching the ball, but getting better. However, I can hit the ball pretty well. Anyways, you should come teach me how to play cricket a little better. I'm not very good. Here's our library, the William Allen White Library, named after one of the most famous Emporians of all time. He was a famous author in the 1900s, the mid-1900s. So we named our library after him. It's, I believe, a 4 or 5 story library, if you include the basement in that. Full of books, research materials, study spaces. I know I, for one, spent much of my graduate experience here in this library. It's very convenient that they offer you spaces that you can rent out ahead of time for free, of course, so that you have a guaranteed quiet space to study with whiteboards, technology, all kinds of different things. All right, here's just a little view of a nice spot on campus. You can see their football field in the background there. You can't really see it, but our track is gold. We love that. It makes it for a very unique track experience. And occasionally they'll open it up to the public so you can go get some exercise down there. But yeah, just a nice spot on campus, thought I would share with y'all. Okay, here we go. Now you can see our gold track and our beautiful football stadium, where you should most certainly come watch some athletic events, some sports. Yeah, we have one of the most unique stadiums that I've ever seen, but I'm not biased. Here's also is a panoramic view of the city of Emporia. you can see that there's tons of trees. So it's always very green and colorful during these months. And Emporia is actually surrounded by pretty much in all directions by residential areas that have residential architecture that is in some areas over 100 years old and very interesting to look at and take long walks around. And then in the distance, just to orient you, here's Plum Hall and Morse Hall, and Worcester Lake is right there. So now I think you have a nice visual map of Emporia State. Here's that same bridge, but looking a little different. And there's Corky, our cold friend there. You'll see him everywhere when you come here because he's our mascot and we love him. Okay, here's the front of Emporia State University, and this shows you just how close we are to the community. So this is Commercial Street, our main street that was voted #1 small town main street in the USA, and this is 12th Street. So this is the center of town, in my opinion. And it's just so representative of how connected Emporia State is to our community. Regardless of what you study, there's always initiatives to somehow connect to our community, to improve it, to benefit it, mutual benefits, always doing something different in that regard. The best thing about it is there's a grocery store right there, so really you don't need a car. If you're living here in Emporia, you have everything you need within a walking distance. It's a very bikeable town as well. I encourage all international students to look into acquiring bikes. We actually have 3 different bike shops here in Emporia, so it's just really convenient to have a bike. And then of course, if you want a car, that's always an option, so you can figure that out. Fun fact for you all who might be interested. So this is the very center of town, I said. Right here, this brown building is our Islamic Center. So this is where a lot of our Islamic students from many different countries will convene and do different events and of course have religious meetings, and it feels like home for a lot of our Islamic students. We're very proud of it. It's a very nice amenity to have so close to campus for many of us. So yeah, this is Emporia. Here's just a fun shot of how busy campus gets during the year. I really love I really, as a graduate student here, loved being surrounded by so many of my peers. Visually like this, it just really enhances the academic experience for me personally, maybe for you as well. Nice little aerial shot there. Okay, as we're wrapping up these photos, just wanted to show you really quickly a quick glimpse of our dorm. If you want to take a quick picture of this URL, you can take a little virtual tour of our newest dormitory on campus, Schallenkamp Hall. All of the amenities that you could want for a living space, shared study spaces, a kitchen, washer dryer. The dorm rooms are very nice. I think the color schemes are very welcoming. There's constantly events being held here. There's also like table tennis and some other small, games of that sort that are in the lobby. And of course, the best thing about it is it's right on campus, so you can walk to your classes straight from Schallenkamp. It's a great place to live. So yeah, take a virtual tour. I think you'll like it. Okay, moving away from the campus tours by photos, I want to talk about some of what makes Emporia unique and a great place to study. So we have been on the best Midwestern universities list multiple times now, both with US News and World Report, as well as the Princeton Review. So Emporia State has absolutely been a big name in the universities out there in the United States. Something I'm always extremely proud of to talk about with international students in settings like this is that we're the 33rd best university for awarding financial aid to international students. Out of all the universities in the United States, we are 33rd. So we are super proud of that. The Higher Learning Commission, the AACSB, and other accrediting bodies make sure that the degree you receive here at Emporia will be recognized throughout the United States and throughout almost all of the world. fact, I can't think of an example where our degree would not be recognized. So these accreditations assure that your employer will know that you got a quality education. A little bit of information you can take home to your parents to convince them why Emporia is right for you. We are one of the top 10 safest communities in all of Kansas and the #1 safest university campus in Kansas. So rest assured, you will be safe here and you will feel safe here. We take great efforts to make sure our students feel safe on our campus. We have a campus police located right on campus who are always 24/7, ready to respond at a moment's notice to anything that may occur. And we also have emergency posts throughout campus that you can go hit a button and have an emergency responder at your location in a moment. So all of these things, as well as a safe community outside of the campus, leads to a great feeling of comfort here in Emporia. Okay, a little bit about our academic programs. So if any of you are interested in undergraduate programs, you can see a listing of those here. And of course, this slide will disappear, but the information will remain forever on our website. So don't forget to go visit that. Couple highlights here, if I will. The business administration bachelor's degree has loads of concentrations and is a very popular one for international students. Communication is a very flexible degree. If you have some dreams, but they're a little nebulous, communication degree can help you figure out. It's a flexible degree so that you can make your dreams, a reality without having a too specific of a degree. Computer science, of course, right? That is a popular one for international students. And then, just to pick out a random one, I would mention our music program, which we have recently reinvested in and improved and hired some new top-of-the-line professors. So if you're a music student, we're a great place to come. Here are some of our popular graduate degree programs. So you already have your bachelor's degree and you're ready for a master's degree to make you that much more hireable. This is the place to do it. We've got what you're looking for. Of course, our flagship graduate degree program, the business administration program, can't say enough positive things about it. Highly accredited, a school of distinction in the state of Kansas. Wonderful program, especially for international students. We have, clinical psychology. It's a popular one. The information technology. An interesting thing that you can do here at Emporia that you couldn't necessarily do in many other places is a dual degree between business administration and information technology. So both of these degrees independently take 2 years to complete, so 4 semesters. However, with our dual degree program, we figured out how to combine some of the coursework so that you can complete both graduate degrees in only 3 total years, so 6 semesters. So for only 50% more of the time, you can have double the degree. Anyone who's interested in doing something with business that may be on the tech side, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to be highly qualified and knowledgeable about these fields. Yeah, take a look at that, and don't forget to visit our website to get much more in-depth information about these programs. Okay, here are some admission requirements because everybody needs to know this, right? So some of our undergraduate programs, the minimum GPA is 2.5. All these GPAs I'll mention are in the United States system. They do vary from country to country, and they are never guaranteed unless you've had a recognized professional credit evaluation, or if you've applied to Emporia State, where we will do an in-house GPA calculation to determine once and for all what your true American GPA is. So I don't know exactly off the top of my head the exchange rate, if you will, for credits in Bangladesh versus credits in the US. But in some countries, your GPA may look lower than 2.5, but in reality, it's not. It's actually 2.5 or higher. So you just have to apply to find out. Thankfully, the SAT or the ACT is not required. So if you haven't taken that yet, don't worry about it. You don't need it. We don't need that. We do look at your character profile. We want to make sure we get students who have a proven work ethic, who are going to be successful here at ESU, and who are going to make something out of the education we give them. And then, of course, we love celebrating our international students in many different ways that I believe I'll have a slide on later. But we just prefer candidates who are willing to share their culture with not only the campus and the students here, but the community. As I said, community interaction is very important for us. Okay, now onto our graduate programs. So the requirements do vary by program. For example, some programs will require 3 letters of recommendation, a statement of purpose, and maybe some other requirements. But some programs may require less than that, maybe 1 letter of recommendation. So you'll just have to look on the website to determine what your requirements are for the program that you're interested in. And for graduate programs, there's a minimum 3.0 GPA on your bachelor's degree. Now that's either your entire bachelor's degree and or your last 60 credits. So basically the last half, more or less, of your undergraduate degree needs to be over 3.0. Now there are some exceptions for some programs, but again, you'll have to look at the website to determine that. But the MBA, for example, the Master of Business Administration, if you have X amount of years of work experience in the field and a slightly lower GPA than 3.0, there is some room for exception there. So don't be discouraged if you don't quite have that 3.0. If you have some work experience, there's a case to be made that you can be a good candidate for this program. And I'll answer some more questions about that later, I'm sure. But yeah, again, please look at the website for more detailed information regarding your program. Okay, now super fun topic, the costs. So our partnership with you all, we have signed at the non-resident rate, which means the following. So as you can see here, we have the x-axis showing tuition and fees, living expenses, insurance, books, etc. You can see some estimates for each of those costs for 1 full year of undergraduate and graduate costs. So take a look at that. Of course, you'll notice the graduate is a little less. Living expenses are lower because we expect graduate students will live off campus, where cost of living in Emporia is quite affordable. So you may find some, we accounted for that in our estimates. So take a look at that. Moving on. So yes, this is a slide that we are always excited to get to. One of the most impressive things I think about our institution is that 98% of our graduates have jobs in their fields within 6 months. That is nearly guaranteed success. We have many stopgaps in departments and different checkpoints in our institution to guarantee, not guarantee, but nearly guarantee that you will find a job in your field. For example, our career services office, who all they do is help you figure out how to find a job. And that's multifaceted, right? That's making sure your resume looks right for the job you're applying for, because you'll have a different looking cover letter for a job in the United States versus a job in Bangladesh, I'm sure. Also, making sure you wear the right attire. Attire is important, right? And they will help you do interview preparation. They will have mock interviews with you so that you are comfortable when it comes time to have that interview. Just to it's for these reasons and many more that our students have a 98% placement percentage. That's just fantastic. And of course, we love to share the success stories of students just to put a face to all of this information. Miss Shahanaz Akhtar, she is a Bangladeshi student from Kumila. She's studying the MBA and she is one of our most distinguished students, not just distinguished Bangladeshi students, but most distinguished students on campus. She's wonderful. She has a graduate teaching assistantship. And she was recently awarded the Distinguished Business Scholar Award for being the top performer of her class. She has a perfect 4.0 GPA, therefore receiving the Beta Gamma Sigma Award. And she's also, maybe this goes without saying, but recognized in the top 20% of her class. So I'm sure she's, in a much lower percentage than that. But anyways, she'll be graduating this May, and just one of many examples, along with Aisha Robi, who presented earlier, of our extremely distinguished Bangladeshi students. I don't know what it is about Bangladesh, but over there it seems that there are some extremely driven, ambitious, and excellent students. And so we are always very excited to be partnering with anyone with your country, because the quality of students is always just exceptional. So anyways, moving on to a little bit more of the campus life here. There's always something to do, right? We make sure we focus very rigorously on our academics, but we never lose sight of the fact that we're here for a good time as well, right? So we're constantly having events. Here, for example, on the left picture is our culture show. Like I said, it's great if you come here ready to share some of your culture with us. For example, a pair of women shared a poem in the national language of Bangladesh with the audience, and that was a really interesting experience for everybody. And also one of the co-hosts of the whole event, hosting the stage, was from Bangladesh. A very well-spoken young man. So we were happy to have him. And then here is just kind of a random one of 100 events that we do, the Color Run. It's a 5-kilometer fun run where people just kind of like throw colors at you, and then there's like music and dancing and party with the colors, and you get really, really messy, really dirty, but it's very fun bonding experience. Okay. As I wrap up my presentation, I'd like to show you one last video just to share some of the faces of all this information I've been giving you. So,
I'm from Egypt. I traveled over 6,700 miles.
I'm from Estonia.
I'm from Iran.
I'm from South Korea.
I'm from Mali.
I'm from France.
I'm from Syria.
I'm from Tunisia, and I traveled 5,400 miles.
I come from China.
I'm from Finland.
I'm from Saudi Arabia, and I traveled almost 7,500 miles from home to become a Hornet.
So there you see it. So Emporia State, the school of everything is possible. Thank you very much for your kind attention. That is the end of my presentation. So let's see. I'm going to stop share so you can see me a little better. Miss Nafisa, shall we enter the Q&A section now?
Yes, thank you so much for your presentation, Chase. We can move on to the question answers now. Everyone, if you have questions, please unmute, ask your questions, or use the chat function. We are here to answer your questions.
Sure. I'll start with looking at some of these chat questions because they've been stacking up a little bit. I'll just pick some random ones since we're not okay. Do you accept credit transfer from Public-Private University of Bangladesh? So thank you for that question. Yes, we do. We do accept transfer credits at our university. Many students will transfer in. We'll do a little credit catalog match evaluation. And any of the credits that you earn, if they, match up to the credits here, then we can take them. But if some of them don't match up, you may not get all of them, but you'll get some of them. I hope that makes sense. I see some more questions here. Okay. Oh, it looks like Brian has answered quite a bit of these questions, actually. Thank you, Brian. Okay, let me see if there's some ones lower. Okay, I see some new questions. Is IELTS acceptable? Yes, IELTS is one of the English language proficiency test scores that we accept here at ESU. We do accept IELTS, we accept Duolingo is our preferred English test. So if you haven't taken one yet, I think Duolingo is the way to go. But we do accept IELTS and a couple others. You can check, that information is available on our website. A question says, hello, what support services are available for Bangladeshi students on campus? Good question. A lot of the support services that are available for Bangladeshis are the support services that are available for all. So we have a student health center here on campus that can address any of your physical needs. So there are studying and practicing nurses on campus, as well as a campus doctor. And then for any mental health concerns, we do take those very seriously here. We have a counseling department who hosts students. Students have, if not free, a very discounted rate for counseling sessions every semester. So definitely take advantage of that. It's a really useful service. Please talk about nursing related subject. Well, Emporia State does offer a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. This is a wonderful program that we, like the music, have recently been reinvesting in. We are building a new nursing building here directly on campus. But in the meantime, we do work with our local hospital to give you hands-on experience through that program. So I would highly encourage you to look at our website about the nursing page because it's a great, competitive, but very good program. Question here is the GRE mandatory? No, it is not. The GRE is not mandatory at this time for entrance into the graduate school. So someone's asking, PhD with funding possible? We only have at the moment one PhD program. That's our PhD in library management, library sciences. You will need to contact that department to talk about funding, but I'm sure we could work something out. What is the minimum Duolingo score required for undergraduate and postgraduate program? That's a good question. Let me look that up real quick because I can tell you exactly what that is in just a matter of seconds. So, just for your interest, I think I can share my screen here. And you can see exactly what I'm seeing. I think you can see, yeah, so you can see the page I'm looking at now. So here is our website that shows the proficiency test scores that we need. Undergraduate students, you can see the Duolingo test. If your score is 95 or higher, then we do not require you to take any English courses before or during your studies. However, if your score is lower, you can still get admission to Emporia State. Do not be deterred. We can accept you with below a 95 Duolingo score. We would only require that you take some English courses so that you're ready to handle those academic courses. Now for graduate students, if your score is 105 to 109, you will receive I-20 for academic studies. So this is exemption. So if you can get above a 105, you're good. Okay, if you can get above a 110, then you're exempt. But if it's between a 105 or a 109, then you have to take English courses. Sorry for the confusion there. But exemption requirement 110 plus, English language training in addition to academic training 105 to 109. Okay, sorry for the confusion there, but for clarity's sake, I encourage you to go to the website and then you'll know for sure. I'm reading some more questions here. Okay, is it possible for tuition assistance to cover living expenses? All the tuition assistance that we provide in the international office affects your tuition, not your living expenses. So unless you can find a different scholarship that will cover that, the money that we offer and the assistance does not affect living assistance. And then the average GRE score, good news, GRE is not required for the MBA. Okay. Okay, moving on. So questions about the IELTS. Again, that information can be found on the website that we looked at. Yeah, I think you asked that question just before I talked about it. So. Okay. Okay, so good question here. Is full funding possible for our institution? Very good question. So there are, for undergraduate programs, some full tuition or some full scholarships, but they require that you have been a student here in Emporia for at least a year. So upon arrival, it's not possible at the moment to have full funding. However, we do offer some different awards that are possible to receive. And for graduate students, we offer graduate assistantships. And what these do, they're basically jobs. You will be working for a department for about 20 hours a week. That's actually what Aisha Arobi is doing with us. And in exchange for that work, we cover all tuition costs. So you pay $0 in tuition. But please note that this is not merit-based. So it's not about, your GPA or your resume. It's more about, will you be the right fit for the job? Did you interview well? Etc. These are all obviously competitive and not guaranteed, but a great way to afford university if you can land one. Okay, I got time for one more question here. Is IELTS mandatory for undergraduation program? I'm glad you asked that. No, it is not mandatory. So if you don't have these English language test scores, no problem. It's okay. We can take you. We prefer that you do have them, but if you don't, it's totally okay. We'll make sure that we test you when you arrive so we know what level of English courses to put you into, or we know to not put you in English courses. So yeah, those are all the questions I have time to answer right now, unfortunately. However, I'm going to put it in the chat here one more time. oisa@emporia.edu. And if any of the information you saw during this presentation made you interested in our university, which I very much hope it did, we would love to hear from you, get connected, and start working on an application for you, and hopefully soon see you here in Emporia. So Raju, Nafisa, thank you so much for your time. At this point, is there anything else that we can wrap up?
Thank you so much, Chase. I hope our audience found the answers they were looking for. We have the floor open for more questions. So we'll wait a few minutes for that. And after that, I think we can talk about what Rajula offers for the students. And yeah, I'd say that's about that. But thank you, Chase. Thank you so much for the presentation. And
my pleasure. Thank you for having us again. It was an honor. And please reach out. Let's begin a conversation. Let me tell you more about ESU, and yeah, please email us. We look forward to getting in contact. So thank you so much, Nafisa,
that sounds
Raju.
amazing.
Great. We wish you the best in your endeavors.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Now. Okay, now we will have a short presentation on our student services from Rajula.
Hello, everyone. This is Tanin. I am working with Rajula at the student admission team. So basically the session was, the focus of the session was to shed the light on the Emporia University, what they're offering for Bangladeshi students. So we had a great presentation from Chase and Aisha and Brian. So thanks to all of you. So before finishing the session, I would like to have a brief discussion on what we do from Rajudo for the students, actually not from only Bangladesh, but from all around the world. And so you know about the Rajula firm, it's an immigration firm, but on top of that, we have added the student admission recently. It's been a year, but we are trying our level best to secure the places in different US universities, and especially we have some collaborations with some universities, and Emporia University is one of them. So basically what we do from our student admission team is we are kind of the one-stop solutions for your higher education dream in USA. We start to evaluate your profile when you contact us, and from there we'll find the universities for you. We will contact the professors on behalf of you if you need. We will guide you through your application process and to prepare your documents like statement of purpose and recommendations. And most importantly, we will guide you with your I-20 and the visa process, so which is kind of a bit tricky for a lot of journalist students who actually don't have enough knowledge on these. So this is one thing we do. And second thing is that, so some of the students, they have a good scores, GPA and the IELTS score and so many things, but fact is that they are not sure how to get the best fit university for them. And as an international student here, I know that funding is very important for us. The scholarship is very important for us. Otherwise, most of us, we can't afford the tuition fees at US universities. So we don't promise anyone that if you have a good profile, if you have a good GPA, and then if you have IELTS score, Duolingo or TOEFL, we would like to find a good universities, a set of universities for you where you can apply, and you will have a possibility of getting not only admission but also some kind of funding through graduate assistantship or teaching assistantship, or even if you can get a partial tuition waiver. So we travel level based. I don't know how many agencies do that, but we do that it's just to secure that you are having, you're fulfilling your dream through Rajula. So I think we always open. I will share our email address with you, and you can always visit like rajulo.com, and you'll find the assessment form in the top, the home page, and you can just fill it up to contact us with your information. Otherwise, you can just always reach out to the student admission program, or you can email to the info@rajulo.com as well. So having said that, if you have any specific question for the Rajulo team, you can just ask it here and you can address it. If if you have any kind of question, otherwise you can just shoot any emails to us and we will get back to you. Thanks very much, Nafisa. Bye.
Oh, wait.
Thank you so much, Tanbhai. The floor is open now. If anyone wants to ask any questions in Bangla, please don't hesitate. We will translate if possible. It's completely fine. Please don't stress about it. And now we'll show a presentation about the student services that Rajulo offers. On the floor, I'm going to welcome our colleague, Shati, to present. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Saida Shaki from Attorney Raju Mahajan and Associates. So as we know, like Attorney Raju Mahajan and Associates is a law firm. So we are US-based immigration law firm where we provide the legal advice directly from our experienced managing attorney Raju Mahajan. And we have 6 associate attorney, as you can see. The law firm is named after the founder and principal attorney, Raju Mahajan. So we have 3 different locations. The law firm headquarters is in like Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Our corporate branch is like, as you can see, like 4520 East West Highway in Bethesda. Our another office is like at like Georgia, Atlanta. And then we have a country office. It's a great news for us. So it's like UTC building, so 3 level 11 at Pantopad, Dhaka. So why Rajulo and Associates? So Rajulo is one of the top and fastest growing immigration law firm in the USA. 100 officers, including law clerk and case manager, work in different departments under the supervision prominent attorney in America. So our success rate of Rajulo is over 99%, which is a great news. So we work to fulfill the dream of people, other part of the world to get. So we have like the green card related services like family-based services, employment-based services, asylum, and we have individual prominent department for student visa and NIW, and you can do like writ of mandamus from through us. So we always place the client before the clock. So we prioritize each client to work individually with each client, time-saving technology-based services we provide, and provide in-person services also. Like you can go our like 3 office anytime. ensure maximum attorney-client contact, begin to work right after getting information. So we value long-term relationship than money, and provide affordability financial plans. The team of Rajulo is actually always ready to help you reach your dream destination. We are committed to serving everybody. And our core values are like no hidden fees and art of technology. We use advanced and customized technology. And legal advice, we provide the best legal advice. Satisfaction level. So we value, as I tell that before, like we value long-term relationship with our client. And team members, like we have an excellent team member. And we have a multiple branch, as I have told this before. So like, what is a student visa? So a student visa is an endorsement that is added to government passport, which is permitted like foreign student to study at country qualified education institute. And like we do like different type of student visa, like F1, J1, and M1. So there are like different criteria for this like student visa, like must be enrolled in academic educational program, like language training program and vocational program. So the student and the exchange visitor visa program, Immigration Custom Enforcement must approve the school, college, and the university, must be enrolled as a full-time student in the institute, and must be proficient in English or be enrolled in course leading to English proficiency, must have sufficient fund available for self-support during the entire purpose course of study. So must maintain a residence abroad that you have no intention to give up. So what do we do for a student? So first, unbiased and expert counseling. And after that, we scrutinize the necessary documents and introduce the potential school and university. So guidance on sending email to professor or university, and like we do the registration for IELTS, GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, SAT, and Duolingo. So guidance, we do always provide like guidance in writing SOP, resume, and pattern of LOR. So assistance in application services. And we do provide like guidance on offer letter. Check the visa requirement, assistance in visa applications, and regular follow-up to support in-person call or email. So guidance on answer and talk in interview at the embassy, and pre-departure briefing once you have received the visa. So welcome event in the study country, like here. So what documents is required? It's a common question we get from students, like, so valid passport and acceptance at SAVP approved university, like institute. So we also help with that portion. And like then I-20, then the service fee payment, like photograph in the requested format, that like there is a like requested format for USA institute. And non-immigrant visa applicant DS-160, academic preparation documents, transcript, evidence of sufficient fund, and evidence of intention to leave the US after study. So we provide all we provide guidance on this requirement. So that was it. Thank you so much, Rajulo and Emporia State University, for collaborating this like nice event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shati, for the presentation. I think with that, we will conclude our session. Just one last thing, if anyone has any more questions they would like to ask. Even in Bangla, it's all right. If not, then, well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope this was informative and insightful. This session, please do contact us for any queries, questions, any help, and well, we hope to see you soon on this side of the world. Wish you all the best for your higher education journey. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.